Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the DAZN. Michael Ridout of the DAZN joins me. Michael, thank you very much for giving me some of your time. What a brilliant start and what a brilliant day to get on your first Stomping Ground interview. Queensberry and the DAZN, there's been a lot of noise and a lot of excitement, but to then go and announce such a heavy schedule, starting with a big heavy-duty show, going to Nottingham, which has been one of my favourite fight cities over the last couple of years, back up to Scotland as well. What a brilliant day.
Brilliant day. Very, very exciting start. April 5th, here at the Co-op. Manchester kind of becoming almost a bit of a boxing home in the UK. Brilliant fight this past weekend with Derek Chisora. We're back here April 5th. We're back here this weekend with Jack Catterall taking on the undefeated Arnold Barbosa. So Manchester is really putting itself on the map. And as you say, April 5th, a brilliant way to start our relationship with Queensberry. 3 amazing fights, a lot more fights to be announced, but that top of the bill fight, Joe Joyce against Dillian Whyte, just has the ingredients of an absolute classic, so I can't wait.
Yeah, I think you called it a slugfest, which is pretty much what everyone is expecting from April the 5th. Yeah. Could we shout out Dev for putting you right on the spot straight away and talking about which one of the promoters is going to be your favourite?
Yeah, well, look, no favourites, obviously, but I think that's genuinely the exciting thing about this new relationship. When you have these incredibly competitive promoters all on the same platform, they're all going to want to win. And the way you win is by putting on the best fights, driving the most amount of viewership. And the ultimate winners in that game are the fans, because we're delivering great value. The fans are seeing the fights they want to see. And the boxers as well are given amazing opportunities. So I think it's a really exciting day, a great announcement for the sport, and can't wait to get started.
Yeah, and it's a power move as such for the DAZN as well. I know obviously Sky Sports play their role in boxing, and free-to-air boxing on the likes of Channel 5 plays its role. But it's been Frank versus Eddie for a decade and more. But now it's Frank versus Eddie on the same platform. So it is a bit of a power move as well. Let's not get it twisted.
For sure, it is that narrative with the two promoters, but ultimately this is about the boxers. Matchman, we know the stable so well. It's a great stable. And Frank brings a whole new stable to DAZN. He's incredibly strong in the heavyweights. He's made a kind of conscious move the last few years to really go big on the heavyweight division, and it's paid dividends. You just have to look at the names, and great to announce Delicious Aureus, his latest heavyweight signing. So look, there's going to be real competition between the promoters. We're going to see some fights, more fights between the promoters as well. Matchroom putting on their best fighters against Queensberry. So we can't wait for that. And don't forget our amazing American stable as well. Obviously Matchroom in the US, but also Golden Boy and a whole host of other promoters. So it's incredibly exciting.
I know Eddie is desperate for revenge, and I know the 5v5 was never going to be a one-off. But does this make it, obviously, a potential annual thing? But Matchroom versus Queensberry is, I guess, a lot easier to do when the platform is shared.
Yeah, look, we'll see. It doesn't necessarily need to be that constant all-event 5v5 thing. It might just be a main event between the two fighters, the two promoters. It might be almost a next-gen show. Look, how can we integrate a bit more competition with fighters that maybe are not so well known, but the promoters are better known. So there are just a huge amount of opportunities now and options for us going forward, that really having the premier promoters on the same platform provides.
What does it mean to dot yourself around the country as well? I know for the DAZN it's about viewership and wanting people to watch as much sport and combat sport as they can through the app. But the fact it's up here in Manchester, the fact it's Nottingham, the fact there's up in Scotland, and I know there'll be kind of locationally different places to announce. What impact does that have as well? Because I guess you could just look at going to 1 or 2 key areas in your London's, Manchester, 2 big arenas, but dotting boxing around the country is obviously beneficial as well.
Yeah, look, you want when you turn on to DAZN, you want to see a packed out crowd, an amazing atmosphere, and by taking fighters home, like we're doing with Josh, it really adds to that the ingredients of a brilliant fight night. Great atmosphere, packed out crowd, brilliant fights. Can't wait to get going.
Yeah, brilliant, and it's a brilliant schedule away from what Queensberry are going to deliver. Queensberry, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Misfits, Bare Knuckle. Is there ever going to be a weekend where there's nothing on?
No,
and I don't think there is.
No, there really isn't. it's not just a marketing slogan that we deliver 150 fight nights. It's a promise to our subscribers, and that's what we do. And now that 150 has just got a lot deeper with the addition of Queensberry. So look, we want to make sure that if you turn on DAZN on a Saturday night, you will see some combat sport, whether it's the list of promoters you just listed or somebody else. You are guaranteed to see boxing on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday night, even sometimes live on DAZN. And that's just a brilliant thing to be able to tell our subscribers. You turn on, you're going to see some combat.
And what you were saying about tuning in and seeing a lively packed crowd made complete sense when you tune in and saw the Wells Fargo for the BKFC. That place looked like it was going to explode.
Pumping, right? And it's been great. We're about 3 or 4 months in to the relationship with BKFC, and it's been a really welcome addition to the platform. Viewership has been great. Feedback from our subscribers has been great. It's driven some good numbers as well. So we're really happy with those guys.
Yeah, brilliant. And in terms of Riyadh season, obviously DAZN is the lead broadcaster. I guess that Riyadh season relationship just going to continue and strengthen. And we know Turkey and Frank's relationship is really strong as well. So that relationship is as good as ever. And I know there's Ring Magazine specific events coming in, but Riyadh season will continue to thrive on DAZN as well.
Absolutely. And look, we can't wait. We are 2 weeks away from Feb 22nd.
Is it the best card ever, or are we all just doing that thing where it's coming up?
It's not for me to decide that, but
it's not bad.
Me personally, as a boxing fan, I can't remember a better one, that's for sure. And certainly people who know a lot more about the sport than I do are saying it's the best fight ever. So who am I to argue? I just can't wait. I can't wait. There's going to be so many great fights, so many amazing storylines coming out of it for future fights as well. Particularly excited to see Daniel. The way that Daniel has managed his career the last few years in partnership with Queensberry, and the way he's really emerged post the Usyk defeat, it's been incredible. What a run he's had. And he is in a proper fight with Joe Parker. So I'm really excited for that one.
I guess Daniel's one of them who's perhaps leading from the front in terms of that next crop, and it sounds a bit foolish to say next crop when he's standing there as a heavyweight world champion, but I look at, I don't know, let's take it 7-8 years ago when you could go to Sheffield and headline with Kel, you could go to Liverpool and headline with Tony Bellew, Carl Froch in Nottingham. That era kind of phased out, and there was a little bit of a transition period. Now we're seeing the likes of Daniel and others who you can say are front and centre, and when they're on a poster, people are tuning in to fighters of that calibre.
Yeah, and look, Daniel's a world star now. That comes when being a world champion. But also his style is just so exciting. He is willing to take one to give one or two back, and people want to see that. He looks amazing. Heavyweight boxing has always been such a kind of crown jewel, particularly for British fight fans, and Daniel is leading the way.
Yeah, brilliant, Mike. I appreciate your time.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. And
good to see
I'm not going to do a Dev Sani favourite promoter on you just yet. We'll see how the first couple of Queensberry weeks go.
We will see. Can't wait.